Welcome to the Mushroom Cult Auger series. This is the Spore cleanup video number 2, where we're taking the plate that's featured on the screen that has chestnut spores germinating on the right side and some penicillium germinating and sporulating in the center, and just doing an experiment of transferring the chestnut away from the contamination. I got some great comments on the last video that I will be adding to the final update, and this is just a follow-up 2 days after this subculture. So this is the original plate 2 days after the subculture. You notice that the chestnut spores have grown quite a bit. The penicillium has stayed put, except that in kind of the left edge, there's a small new colony that wasn't there before. I'm assuming that that's penicillium. And here is an up close of that. You can see on the left bottom there's a new colony that wasn't there before. That, I'm assuming, is mold. I kept this old plate just as kind of a tool to know how my technique was. Did I contaminate the original plate through this process, or how was my technique? It's just sort of a reference tool. Next, we're looking at the first transfer from the first video. It looks clean. Now we are taking a look at the second transfer. It also looks clean. The third transfer, on the other hand, so this one will explain, there's sort of a shadow in the middle. That's where the transfer went to. I've already, in the video that you'll soon see, I've already taken that off onto a new plate. I took this picture after the procedure was done, but we have some molds around the edge, mostly on the left side. That is presumably from the original plate. And now we're looking at the fourth transfer. This one has a small mold in there, and it's difficult to see in this video, but there could be contamination on the subculture itself if you get at a different angle. So here's my setup. I have everything laid out. I have a flame burning in order to create an aseptic bubble. It heats the air and sterilizes the air in the immediate area. This was a comment from Randy Leahy that I thought I'd implement. It was easy to do, so we got that. I'm sanitizing my hands with rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to get ready to take care of plates 3 and 4, because those are the only 2 that got contamination. So I'm preparing my blade. I needed to think this through a little more clearly. I should have taken the tape off first and then sanitized my hands, but it's not going to make that big of a difference. I'm just realizing that at this point that I need to take the tape off. I'm doing this extremely carefully to try to not disturb the spores that are on the penicillium. And I just kind of hold it gently in the center and peel it off, and then throw that outside of my workstation, carefully setting the plate down. Now the plates are not sanitized on the outside because I don't want to wash off the alcohol label, so I'm assuming that my hands are now dirty. I'm going to proceed with the aseptic mindset that my hands are going to spread contamination, so I'm going to be really mindful of what I'm touching. I just want to think about where I'm taking the transfer from, and so I'm arranging my plates so that it'll be easiest for me to access that. Now I'm going to put the blade on, being mindful that my hands are dirty at this point. I could have re-sanitized them. I'm holding the blade at holding the handle, at the back of it so that my fingers are farthest away from my actual work area. So with that sterile blade, I'm just carefully opening the lid and scooping out that little nub. That's why in the picture earlier that there was no subculture. Just moving that on there onto plate number 1, which I'll label number 1. From plate number 3 is what that was. So now I'm heat sterilizing with the torch because it's faster than the alcohol lamp. And I'm going to cool it off in the next plate. so that I don't cause an explosion because I'm dealing with contaminated plates. And I'll move on to plate number 4. And I'm going to just take a small section of this because I'm noticing that there's some possible mold in the subculture itself, but I'm going to do the transfer anyway just to see what happens. And those were pretty smooth, and that's my procedure. I'm going to parafilm all of those, and I'll label them properly, and we'll keep it updated. This is from plate 3. This was the transfer 1 that you saw, and this is from plate 4, now transfer 1. Thanks for watching. I would love to hear your comments. Please, if you haven't, watch the first video in this Spore cleanup series so that you can get filled in and watch for the next update. Check out mushroomcult.net, join the cult, start a culture.